Today we're going to look at trimming spurs on some of these older roosters. At times they'll get pretty thick, so there's different methods that you can do to try and trim them down. One thing that you can do is use clippers. You could use pet clippers, nail clippers, and snip a little bit off at a time when you're doing that. However, when you have a thicker spur like this, it can be pretty difficult to try and trim them off. And I won't be able to trim very far, so I got the very tip off, which is okay. But I need to trim more, and see now it started to split a little bit. That's something you want to try and avoid when you're trimming these spurs. So you get a thick spur using clippers like this. Sometimes they'll split on you. Another option is using something like this to trim the spurs when they're real thick. But a problem with that, when you use these, they're going to almost always split. And you don't want to split these spurs. So I'm not going to do that. And then a third option that works really well is using a Dremel tool with a cutting blade on it. So what you'll do with this is you can just cut right through the spur. But one thing you want to be aware of is there's what's called a quick. That's the blood supply for the spur. So if you cut too low, you're going to cut into the quick. But one thing I learned accidentally is if you do cut into the quick a little bit with this Dremel tool, apparently it generates just enough heat so that it'll actually cauterize it. So it won't hardly bleed at all. So I'll show you what I do with trimming these. So I'll do a little at a time. Just cut through. It doesn't really seem to vibrate that spur at all, but I don't leave it on for more than just a couple seconds at a time. I'll just slowly cut through it. One thing you'll notice is it doesn't split or shatter at all, so it's a good cut. And there we go. So I didn't cut too far, no bleeding. It's good and flat now. It's not too long, so you don't want them to get it caught up into the wire or something. And also when they're mating with females, long, sharp spurs are going to injure the female. And if I wanted to, I could trim a little bit more, keep going till I get close to that quick, and then stop before cutting into it.